On this very special Tony show, an old friend of the show and of mine. Of course, you recognize Charles Gross. He has long time been the producer and co-host of Two on the Aisle. Right now, he and our great friend Leslie Hoban Blake are the co-stars of the. She's been on there for like 20 years now, too.
Not quite, but we're getting there.
Two on the Aisle is two critics doing the Siskel and Ebert thing of Broadway and off-Broadway shows, and you can watch it on YouTube and TikTok. Charles will tell us about that. He is also a drama desk voter and a playwright and performer, too. He's going to tell us about that. But before all of it, we want to welcome Charlie back again to the neighborhood and to ask him to talk about one particular Tony category, revival of a musical. Sparse category, but what do you think of the three nominees, Ragtime, Cats, the Jellicle Ball, or Rocky Horror Show?
Dave, as you know, there are three types of musical revivals. There is the traditional revival, where it looked like they just reached back in time and brought it back on stage. And that's not really fair because each director puts his own stamp on each production. And that would be the category for two of the nominations, Ragtime, and they're now calling it Richard O'Brien's The Rocky Horror Show. Then there is the radically revised or rethought musical. And that is where they go with a totally new concept, new staging, new idea. And sometimes it can go horribly bad, as with recent revivals of Cabaret in Oklahoma. But when they get it right, it can be brilliant. And there are two Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals this season that got it right. One is Masquerade. This is an immersive version of Phantom of the Opera. You go from room to room, and you are right there in the middle of the action. In fact, the night I saw it, the Phantom tapped me on the shoulder twice. And if I were giving the Tony Award for Best Musical Revival of the Year, this is the show I would give it to. However, since it is technically an off-Broadway show, although I consider this a Broadway calendar production, it is not eligible. The other revised or revisited show is Cats, the Jellicle Ball, and this reimagines Cats in a gay ballroom. And this is certainly not the Now and Forever Cats that we remember, but it is so creative and so cleverly done that this is a whole next generation Cats. The dancing, the costumes. It does, interestingly, at the beginning pay homage to the original Cats, but this is a very new and very different Cats. The only thing I will warn you is that due to some of the costuming, I would not exactly call this show family friendly, but I would say go and see it.
Oh boy.
Then there is the Resurrection Revival. This is a show that flopped on Broadway for the first time, but it achieved such a following, and people think, oh, if we only had a second chance, we could get it right. And that happened with Merrily We Roll Along, and this season with a revival of Stephen Schwartz's The Baker's Wife off Broadway. And they tried to do it with chess on Broadway. Did they succeed? Well, Dave, as you mentioned, there are only three nominations for Best Musical Revival, and chess is not one of them. Now, audiences seem to disagree because the show is having a run, but the Tony nominators, not so much.
Would you have put, because you're a drama desk voter, you're not a Tony voter, but would you have put chess in this category?
Well, the drama desk also includes off-Broadway musicals. So if there were room for it, I would maybe have added it. I don't think I would have
there is room. There's only three nominees in the Tony category. So yeah.
Well, you're asking for the Tonys. That's different. You said the drama desk. For the Tonys, yes, I would have added it to the nomination. I would not vote for it.
So you were not okay. Yeah.
I do not think that this revival attained the greatness that we had all hoped chess would attain, but I certainly think it should have been nominated.
Well, now let's get to the one big one in the room.
Yes.
Is so you're doing these different kinds of revival things, like the whole big revision thing, let's make it pristine like a classic that it is. Where does Ragtime fall in your scale of revivals?
Definitely in the first category, the pristine revival, even though this is a noticeably different than the two previous productions of Ragtime, notably the scenery or lack thereof. But this is the Ragtime that we know and love, even though the director has definitely put her mark on it. It is a glorious revival, and in fact, all three of these musicals were beautifully reconceived, and they all deserve their nominations and then some, and I hope they're all hits. But Ragtime is just such an amazing musical to begin with. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest musicals ever written. And for this reason,
Wow, okay.
I would say that Ragtime is the show that should win, and I believe it is the show that will win.
Wow, I didn't realize you had that such a strong feeling about it. Because I remember when the original Ragtime opened, and people admired it, but they didn't love it. And I think over the years, people have grown to really, you know, think that it's a greater musical that wasn't just appreciated when it first came out. So you certainly are an appreciator.
I was actually one of the people who did appreciate when it first came out. And then I saw the revival, which unfortunately did not last very long, and I loved that one. And then I saw this one,
And
and
you love it
boy,
again. Yeah.
it's in bowling they would call it a turkey, perfect score.
Oh,
Each
well,
three three
turkey's
stri-
maybe not the word you want to use.
three stri- well, three strikes in a row.
Yeah, oh,
When you
I get it. So
in bowling, but we're
speaking
talking bowling.
of perfect or shows that you love, 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 besides Ragtime that you mentioned this year, what are one or two of the other shows that opened on or off or even off Broadway in 2025, 2026 that were your favorites of the whole season?
Ooh, okay. Well, there were some good ones. There was the revival of The Baker's Wife. I had never seen this musical. Really enjoyed it. Schmegadoon. You know, Broadway does not have a good track record in transporting television musicals to the stage, as witnessed when they tried to do Bombshell last season. But Schmegadoon, wow. I think that will win for Best Dancing
Oh, okay.
and, and possibly even Best Musical. I would also say, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Let's see, the best revival of, no, not the best revival, best play, The Ballisters, David Lindsay Abaire.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, that was really beautifully drawn characters, a solid story. Even if it's actually not such a strong story. It's what's happening with this neighborhood association, but the characters and the performances. I think that's what will win the best play.
And you're
Sure.
hoping it will. Now, speaking
Uh,
of a
I,
play, oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
that
speaking of a play that people want to see, not only can they watch you and Leslie doing Two on the Aisle, just find episodes on you. What is the YouTube channel, by the way?
the YouTube channel is Two on the Aisle, the Broadway Theater Reviews.
Two on
Sorry,
the
Two
Aisle.
on the Aisle
Yeah,
Broadway
sorry.
Theater Review,
And
and we
but
we are looking
Charlie's
for
yeah,
subscribers, so please subscribe.
Charlie is also a playwright, and you're going to be doing a snippet, a 5 minute snippet of
Yes.
your best known work. So can you tell us when? And this is just a couple of days from now. So please.
Well, this will be on June 10th. Unfortunately, it's not really open to the public per se,
Oh, oh.
but it is the New York City Art is Life Festival for New York City employees, which I do during the day. And we get to show our talent on stage. And this year, for the first time, we are taking it to an off-Broadway theater. We will be at worldwide stages. 300-seat theater. I am so excited about this. And I will be performing a brief portion of how I found an affordable apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan without really trying. And I am so excited about it.
So if people are
But
city employees, can they? How do they find out to go to this?
uh,
And
there are hmm, there will be something circulating for that, and you can click on space is very limited, so sign up. I've got friends and family who will be allowed to come. They allow you a limited at that. Unfortunately, because of the space constraints, I know 300 sounds like a lot, but it's going to fill up very quickly, apparently. So
well, I wish you
yeah,
absolutely
think
breaking
about my
legs doing that on June 10th. Also, of course, continuing for many years, Two on the Aisle, and you're reviewing. Charles Gross, as always, thank you so much for joining us in the neighborhood.
My pleasure as always.